Picture it, 2020. The world is shut down. It's COVID running rampant. And when I mean shut down, I mean shut down. No school. People are working from home. Teachers are teaching from home. Uber Eats and DoorDash are seeing an increase in usage. The airports are so quiet that you can literally hear a mouse piss on the cotton ball. Everything is shutting down. People are waiting for stimulus checks. Actually, Donald Trump held up the checks because he wanted to sign his name. That's another story for another day. The Democrats, thankfully, are responsible for that. And we're told to bag. Give me 50 feet. Social distancing is a thing. If you were in line and the host sneeze, what? And don't cough too many times, what? Back. Go home. Wear your mask. And if you lived in California, you know it was shut down times 10. They real strict out there. But if you were in Atlanta, y'all was still outside. Diddy was even hosting a dance-a-thon. Y'all remember when Lizzo got on there and was dancing and people thought he didn't want her to dance because she was a big girl and he was like, no, it ain't that. It's just a family-friendly event. And I ain't got no problem with Lizzo. I ain't got no problem with big women. Like it's all good. It's all good. The Diddler Way raised $3.7 million for the COVID relief fund. TikTok was going crazy. I'm a savage. Classy, bougie, ratchet. TikTok dances were introduced, taking over. Like everything was TikTok. Challenges, George Floyd protests that never ended. Target took a stand and propositioned themselves as the retail chain to to back black business owners 100%. Put them at the forefront. Pledge to donate so much money, to help with racial relations, so on and so forth. Race relations, so on and so forth. And here it is, November 2020. As you navigating your way through COVID and wondering if you're gonna spend Thanksgiving with your family, because remember, social distancing, large gatherings were a problem. You wondering if you're gonna like what you gonna do, DoorDash, Uber Eats, seeing an increase in usage. TikTok went from 20 million during the summertime, no, 20 million in 2019 to 90 something million by June 2020. The people were arguing where COVID came from. The folks in the hood said it came from 5G. People were arguing about N95 mask, what mask. People were being told how to wash their hands, how to sing a song, like the chorus of a song, the length of amount of time that you need to wash your hands. So much was going on. So much was going on. Breonna Taylor, news and reports about what happened that night, that sad night she was gunned down by police officers. Protests all in the street for George Floyd, from Atlanta to across the pond, from Minnesota to across the pond. Everybody was protesting. And in November 2020, Jane Doe gets a call from her friend who was seeing Diddy at the time. Girl, pack your bags. My man paying for us to come to Miami. Pack your bags. Come on, let's go. Let's roll out. Because we outside. Well, everybody else was trying to figure out what to do and how to do and where their money was coming from and how to save those stimulus checks and maybe want to have a little crab boil here and there. Diddy and his crew They were going on like nothing, as if they were not interrupted. That year, over 3 million people died from COVID complications. And as Jane Doe got ready to head to Miami, as Jane Doe got ready to head to Miami, she gets there, make sure she got her child situated. She gets there, and then boom, it's her friend. She's hanging out with her friends, hanging out with Diddy, having a good time. It's a group of them. It's a girls' trip. And somehow they were both pretty flirty with each other, according to Jane Doe, as she testified on the stand, half of Thursday and half, and all day Friday. Jane Doe said they somehow bumped into each other on the way to the bathroom or whatnot, and gave each other, exchanged numbers. And because of the situation, they exchanged numbers and gave each other nicknames, Burton or Ernie, at that moment. Because after all, this is her friend's man at the time. Okay? See, when y'all be trying to take y'all friends everywhere with you and your man, and she laughed for 2 seconds, that's 2 seconds too long. But let me introduce you to Jane Doe and Sean Diddy, Puff Daddy, Puffy, Diddler, Pete Diddy, Combs. This is how the two got started. And 5 years later, after meeting her in Miami, November 2020, he is fighting for his life thanks to a lawsuit filed by Cassie and Jane Doe and the decisions that he made. I'm in Miami, bitch. That's what the girls be saying when they go to Miami. I love Miami because you ain't got to go out the country to get the little scenic to make you feel like you're on the island, right? Y'all know Diddy got him, he got there on Two-Star Island. This is where the rich people, because he got that money, he got that money, okay? And so everybody chilling, everybody having a good time. And as Jane Doe testified to, she said that Diddy was really charming and nice. She gets off that plane looking, all, how it is when you get ready to go to Miami, got your hair done, your nails done, your lashes, you get your pedicure, you don't need your feet crusted or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Get you a little tan if you're on the light side or whatever, or not, you know what I'm saying? But you want to make sure you're looking good. Get your little bikini wax, you know what I'm saying? You want to make sure you're looking good enough to eat. Okay? When Jane Doe arrives, Diddy is so hospitable. He was hospitable, she testified. She was drawn to him instantly. That's a quote. Really charming and nice. They went to a dinner at Star Island, Two-Star Island, 2020. She initially met Diddy in 2015, though. So when they met in 2020, that wasn't her first time. That wasn't her first time. They met initially in 2015. You know how, like, hey, like, how you meet people or you see people at other events. She said it was a Father's Day event. And then November 2020, the Miami's girl trip. Okay. It was a 5-day trip. She saw him about 3 days, about 3 out of the 5 days. They went to dinner and then they were on a yacht. And she said it was a little bit of flirting going on. And they also went to the studio. So here it is. Your friend is with you, a group of girls, and your man coming through, because you know how your man pop in and out. Like your man may be in the same area, but he may not, he ain't gonna, be no helicopter dude. At least not, maybe what I'm saying. He just come in, check, drop that check off and go on by his hee hee ha ha, go on by his business. And this same girl that's close enough to travel with you, probably know a little bit of your business, probably know who you've been giving head to, who you popping it for, and all of that. She flirting with your man. This your friend flirting with your man, and she ain't even paid for the trip. Okay. She said that she saw a pink powdery substance the first night. One of her friends, because again, it's a girls group, it's a girls trip. One of the girls there, not the one who was dating Diddy, but one of the other girls there said, "Hey, Diddy, I want some drugs." Do people on drugs really ask for drugs like that? Yeah, it ain't no code word or nothing. So you just be out and about chilling. You be like, "Hey, you got some drugs?" Is that what happened? Cause that seemed weird. Cause I mean, so the people on drugs ask for drugs like they asking for a cup of water or a Diet Coke. But the friend requested drugs nonetheless, and then he got them and gave it to her. Now, at this point, the friend is no. Remember, I told y'all she said they were flirty with each other. At this point, the friend done picked up on. Gotta go. Y'all doing some wrap this up right now. Wrap it up right now. Put a pin in it. Cut it off. We gotta go. Okay. Then now she didn't specify if this was the next day or later on that night. I'm assuming it's the next day. They had a pool party. He had a pool party at his house. Then they watched a little bit of movie, watched the movies. He texted her while they watching the movies. She said he was asking her how was she feeling, and she said it was awkward, right? So November 2020, go to Miami 305, kicking it. Meet him while she on the girls trip with her friend. One of her friends dating Diddy. Is already dating Diddy. They exchanged numbers, like they bumped into each other one night while having dinner. You know how you get up from the table, go to the bathroom or whatever. And the next day, he's texting her and they still hanging out. It was a 5-day Miami trip. She saw him 3 out of the 5 days. He texted her while they are at a movie theater inside of his home. And he's asking her how does she feel. She said it's awkward. So between um no in November 2020, they, sending messages and so on and so forth. I put texting each other. Somehow the friend quickly got engaged after all of that. I guess she said, you know what? Any minute, mighty no. I'm gonna pick him. Cause clearly, this got me. Do you hear me? All the way messed up. This got me messed up. Okay. So she picks the other one and she moves overseas with him. So she gets engaged and moves overseas. So the prosecutor said, well, so your friend was also seeing somebody else while she was seeing Diddy. Jane Doe said yes. Okay, cool. Jane Doe said that's when she got the. At first, she was hesitant dealing with Diddy because she knew her friend still had feelings for him. But once that friend turned on Maya and said, "I be moving on, moving on, moving on, I be moving on." Yeah, she said she got her a baller. Baby, she got engaged and moved overseas. Jane Doe said, okay, this my time. Put me in, coach, this my time. Put me in. She had next. She said they gave her the green light, sir. Okay. Diddy and Jane Doe kept in touch after the Miami trip. That was November 2020 and late January 2021. So between November 2020, late January 2021, her friend that whom she was on a trip with that was dating Diddy previously, done moved on, got engaged, and went on moving on overseas, baby. That's what I'm talking about, baby. We ain't crying. I told y'all we ain't crying about no when it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, honey. Come on. She went on about her business, baby. I know that's right. Shout out to her. I know that's right. Anyway, January 2021, Jane Doe heads back to Miami. Their first date was in a hotel room for 5 days. So for 5 days, she was getting her black blown out. You know what I'm saying? They made love on the first night. It was amazing, Jane Doe stated. They had a nice walk on the beach, went to a restaurant. They had a date night. While they were, getting acquainted with one another, Jane Doe had two things to tell him. Number one, my child's father is someone that you don't like. Y'all don't like each other. Number two, I previously dated someone he knew and was really close to. So she dated two people that Diddy already knew. One being her child's father, he didn't like him. Two being an actual friend of his, and this person was close to Diddy. Diddy's response was, "It doesn't matter." And what I found interesting was that when Jane Doe was describing Diddy, she said that he was larger than life. This is also something that Cassie said. Diddy is larger than life. Okay. Like Cassie, Jane Doe fell in love with him quickly. They made love the first night. It was amazing. Walk on the beach. They done cleared the air with, acquaintances and everything. Um, as far as who he was dating at the time, um, I don't believe that was discussed, or at least I didn't write it down. I don't think Diddy said anything about who he was dating. Okay. I was pretty head over heels for Sean. Now, they've been texting since November. And if I'm not mistaken, the trip in November was a little bit towards the end. So from November, December, January, the first the first little trip, she was already head over heels for him. See, this is why I be thinking like, let's just think about this. Let's pause right here. What would make you be head over heels for somebody after just spending 5 days with them? Yeah, I've been communicating via text, but to be head over heels, or what make you think, or what would make you say, we made love the first time y'all had sex and y'all ain't even been talking that long? Like, at this point, now I'm concerned about her state of mind because you're a very grown woman. In 2021, you were grown. This man was able to make you feel like that. I mean, sometimes let's talk about it. Sometimes we have these delusional spells. to where a man make us feel so good, so warm on the inside. Woo! Feel like a fresh chocolate chip cookie, all gooey on the inside. But then at some point, some supposed to hit you in your head like a sandal. Some supposed to hit you a sandal. God's supposed to send a sandal to go, trick, wake up. This ain't real. And I like what kind of love, like what kind of sex? Well, I mean, hold up. Well, we already wait, hold on. We already know what kind of sex Diddy likes, but I'm talking about like when he's by himself. Like, what is he doing? Is he love bombing these chicks? Because up until then, she didn't mention anything about a gift. So was it, the fact that he was paying for everything? But if he already knew people she dealt with, I would assume, you know, they are the same type of caliber of men, right? So, like, has she not been around money before? I'm just trying to figure out what would make her be so engulfed. I can see maybe a woman who ain't never been with, men of that stature. And I only say that because people know people within their community in their tax bracket, right? So if he had a close friend she was dealing with, one could very well assume the close friend got money. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to figure out why was she acting like that was the first time she ever been around a man with money. Anywho, but it happens to the best of us. So moving right along, they had a really good 5-day trip. For their first date was at a hotel. February 2021, they go to Turks and Caicos in the Bahamas. They go on an island getaway, Jane Doe stated. Who all went? KK, his chief of staff, Christina Coram, chef, butler, photographer, barber at one point. So they all, they spent 9 days between Turks and the Bahamas. Jane was on the stand and said, I remember so many lovely nights. She said they were passionate about one another. They stayed in the villa. Then a video was playing. We couldn't see it, but it was a video. She described the video. It was a video of just her, kind of just panning, the beach or whatever. And Diddy was like at the end, like you can see his face. Diddy rented out the villa. Now, um, now, okay, here we go. November, they meet. January, late January, they spent 5 days together in Miami. February 2021, they in Turks and Caicos. Okay. And they go to the Bahamas. 9 days total vacation. So Jane Doe is on the stand describing, you know, who she is, what she does for a living, so on and so forth, while she's testifying. So she's a single mother. So she's a content creator. She advertised brands on social media. Now, so it's important to also note that now, as we, my bad, y'all. Okay, so they in Turks and Caicos for 9 days, 2021. He got everybody there. Well, he gives her a love bracelet, LOVE, right? We know Diddy goes by love, and it's also the time that that's the name of his daughter, Love, right? Now, this is for her birthday because her birthday is in February. This is for her birthday. On top of the love gift, he also gives her $10,000. Just a little compensation. You know how like when you were younger, you might have you a little, dope boy. He'd be like, call out. He'd be like, call out. And I give you your day's pay if you hang out. You know what I'm saying? So how much you get paid in a day? $400? All right, I got you. 250? All right, I got you. Just come and chill with me, boo. Just come and chill with me. Hit these licks with me. Lay up all day with me. Take a day off. I got you. She said Diddy compensated her $10,000 because while she was vacationing in Turks and Caicos and also the Bahamas and being a content creator, she for some reason, even though she was dressed up and she, I'm pretty sure, she had on her bikinis and swimsuits and stuff like that. For some reason, she could never take a picture and post it on Instagram. So she was missing out on money. So he gave her $10,000 because she took off work. Took off work. Now, drugs. She used drugs before meeting Diddy back in 2014, 2015. But while on a trip with Diddy, he requested, he was, asked her to take an X pill 10 times. 10 times. So out of 9 days, he asked her at least 10 times. At the pool, he opened his hand with a pill, with an X pill. She fell to the ground. She said her body almost started convulsing. She grabbed the sand. She was screaming. They took her, Diddy's team, KK and them took her and put her in the shower in lukewarm water to help her feel better. Now, at that time, she took a whole pill because she a big dog, a big dog. Because she took a whole pill. But then, after passing out, oh no, after passing out, grabbing the sand, she started to take it in small pieces. It was too much for her, too much for her body. Now, when she on that X, she's real relaxed, she's loving, she's flirtatious. And then she testified that Diddy determined the dose. Okay. She said that Diddy just would determine the dose. He would just give her what he wanted her to have or whatever. Now, when this happened, they having a good time and whatnot or whatever, but somewhere between having a good time, Diddy made it clear he got hoes on deck. He made it clear he was seeing multiple women. And I quote, on his end, it was an open relationship. In my heart, I just wanted to see Sean. I was monogamous with him. So she was in a relationship by herself. You know how like you go with somebody, but they don't go with you? Or you know what I'm saying, be doing, or you got such a commitment to a man who barely can call you. Come on now, we all done been there. I mean, maybe not the whole popping the pills thing, 'cause I ain't no drug addict, but baby, you know, been a little delusional. Like, oh, this mommy girl, this he got community pain, baby. Diddy is everybody's man because this is February 2021, right? So Jane Doe was actually dating Diddy from January 2021 through September 2024. She said that they were together up until his arrest. Side note, they found women's lingerie and shoes and so on and so forth the day he was arrested in September. I wonder if she is the woman that was with him. Because he basically it looked like he was about to have another freak off, to be honest. And then I talked about that. So I'm gonna look at some of my YouTube shorts, the stuff that they found. They found the baby oils, the Astroglide, the Frank Black pills, so on and so forth. Well, bottle or whatever they had. It was a Frank Black prescription bottle that actually had a powdery substance that later tested to be ketamine and MDMA. Okay. So now October 2023, they were on break for 4 months. They got back together February 2024. Now, it's important to note that Diddy's youngest child, Love, was born on October 2022. And then, so in September, hold on, wait a minute. We still in February 2021, right? Okay. Then Turks and Caicos for the Bahamas, they're kicking it, whatever, whatever. Shortly after that, Diddy is spotted with Joy on a yacht, kissing. Joy Chavis, she got a baby by Bow Wow, she got a baby by Future, she got a baby by that football player. Now, from 2021 to 2024, Jane Doe and Diddy dated. However, they had two breaks, one being in October 23 in October of 2023. And I just think it's interesting that they didn't go on a break after he had a baby um in October 2022. They didn't go on a break in September 2021 when he was with Joy kissing on a yacht in Italy. And that same month, now, he also threw Joy a birthday party. Okay. So this is Joy and Diddy kissing. Okay. They were kissing. And then Joy's birthday is like September the 20th, 26th, I think. Anyway, he also threw her a birthday party. So they didn't break during those times, though. They took a break in 2023 for 4 months. And they got back together in February of 2024. Now, they had a private relationship. They had a private relationship. And Jane Doe said they agreed to keep it private. And she only posted one time about him. Just once. Posted about him on social media. Now, she was on the East Coast. Okay. But the same year they met, she moved from the East Coast to Cali in June 2021. She moved to LA. Now, Diddy sent money for her move. He sent $6,000 for a truck. Now, from February 2021, May 2021, she saw him every other week or so. Diddy would fly her to MIA. Gave her money just because. I mean, it ain't tricking if you got it. It ain't tricking if you got it. I know I turned that into a gospel song, but that, yeah, okay, whatever. She used drugs. She was out her body every time they were together. I'm talking X, Molly, cocaine, K, aka ketamine. And ketamine has been a star player since day one of testimony. Diddy has been on drugs for a very long time. And again, these are not things that his team objects to or deny. Diddy really be was really on that dope. Hmm. Um now now while Jane is testifying like what happened and going through their relationship, so on and so forth. And mind you, I've told y'all before, they ask questions, but sometimes they kind of go out of order because again, they just trying to get the story. So, some of this may be kind of back and forth, but follow me. In the words of Missy Maya, uh, may he rest in peace. Follow me. Follow me, camera. Follow me. So, um, she was starting to talk about how Diddy brought up the fantasies of what we now know to be freak offs. But I want to highlight that while Jane Doe doesn't refer to these nights as freak offs, she refers to them as hotel nights. Okay. So he gave her drugs during sex. Now picture this. This is a single parent who has a child. She says she goes to see Diddy every week or so. She's taking drugs, so on and so forth. How do you have enough energy to go home and raise your child and clean up and cook and stuff like that? That just seemed like it would be a lot. Because sex is a lot. If you having like really good sex, it take a lot out of you. So how you on drugs? So she said porn would be playing. He preferred her to dress during sex. It's the same MO. The platform triple heels, the nice lingerie. She would buy the lingerie and Diddy would pick out which one he wanted her to have. Baby oil, main character, of course. And she said it would be all over my body and his. I really loved him. It was really wonderful, really nice. Diddy was passionate. I loved him very much. Now, we still in 20, it's just, child, we still in 2021. And she talking about she love this man. We in early 2021 because my next note say May 2021. Now, she starts crying. Jane is boo-hooing on the stand when she's when the prosecutor when she was asked to remember uh the conversation about his fantasy, right? And this was also what Cassie said. They had a conversation. He told her about a fantasy that he had. This voyeurism situation. Hey, I like to see my girl have sex with a man, and it makes me horny and I want to put nut oil on my nipples and stuff. I want the man semen on my nipples. I like to watch my girl have sex with another man. So he's telling her about it. But while she's replaying the conversation, she's boo-hooing on the stand. Jane Doe cried harder than Cassie. I mean, I'm not comparing like the two. I'm just saying like I'm trying to put in your mind like how hard this woman was crying on the stand. She did a lot of sobbing and on the stand. Um, so what she said she would do, she would search specific names on websites, really wanted her to fantasize and talk about other men. So Diddy really wanted her, and we've heard this testimony before. Diddy likes to say, "Oh, you like that? That look good to you." Like, so he wants to hear her thoughts about said penis and said person and so on and so forth. And it's also important to note, so Cassie had freak offs and escorts. Jane Doe called them hotel nights and entertainers. Okay. Now this is in May of 2021. Diddy would say, "Do you like what you see there? Pretend pretend that's here. Pretend I'm that person." So Diddy loves role playing and living out his body and like acting out these things in his mind. He wanted her to pretend. So if she saw so and so had a big penis, he wanted her to pretend like that's who she was messing. That's who she was with for the night. Pretend it, right? Pretend that she was with that person. No, I'm not gonna say that. That's probably not appropriate to say. Okay, so May 2021, they in Miami. One of these, trips, she says she saw him about every week or so, watching porn. And this was later determined that it was called movie nights. Well, so a movie night would be where they would sit up and just watch porn or watch one of their videos where they're having sex with the entertainers slash escorts or just watching porn of somebody else or whatever. So they're watching porn, and she said they had been awake about 12 to 15 hours. But they, 24 hours total. She used X and Molly. And then Diddy said, "I can make this fantasy a reality. I can make that happen." And so Jane is was definitely had to be raised as, please your man and whatever he want, you do it and whatnot. Because she says, understand, and this was a theme in her testimony. "I was really into my partner and said, okay, I was really into my partner. And I said, okay." Like she has a very soft voice. Um, Went to the restroom and changed. Oh, Diddy went to the restroom and changed into his robe. And he said, "We can make that happen tonight." Tonight, baby. I'm talking about tonight. Tonight, boo. Tonight. I ain't talking about when you come back. I'm talking about right now. Get on your Zoom. Get on your Zoom. She said, "Okay, because my partner was excited." Well, she said, "Hold on, my partner, is that my, it was excited." Yeah. So an assistant, as we heard through testimony, came in and set up the room. Um, Diddy was, while everything's getting set up, because the show starting today. And that's just what Cassie said. Cassie said he told her about this fantasy. And basically within maybe 8 weeks, 8 to 12 weeks, this was a recurring thing. Like it was on and popping, like on and popping. Once you open this door with Diddy, ain't no going back. That's clear. That's crystal clear from the testimonies. So Diddy was, calming her down. And when we all have heard about how Diddy was very supportive during these times, saying things like, "Let's finish strong," and get back out there. Let's go. This man was acting like they were playing a sport, like baseball, kickball, dodgeball, or something. Let's go. We could do it. Let's win it. So, like, golly. Woo, Jesus. So, um, he's calming her down, wants her to be calm. Cause it's when you have sex with somebody the first time, it could be a little strange. We all know like that little first time meet up, you know, it can be a little, it can be really, really good or really, really like, I know this ain't what I waited for, right? And then imagine that, and you got somebody in the room, that's your man, and then this is a stranger. This is just an entertainer that you having sex with. I bet she was all nervous, probably had to shit or some more, because can you imagine? Like, Anywho, she got her lingerie out under her robe. And then she saw a man by the name of Dunn in the other room. We the Dunn in the other room. I'm not sure if we've seen a picture of Dunn previously because there were a lot of escorts that we saw while Cassie was testifying. I can't remember the name Dunn. I'm gonna have to go back through my notes. But if his picture is shared, I will share it. And I know that some of the people that they did release into evidence, like some of their pictures, that wasn't all that we saw in court. So, but we gonna see. Okay. Oh, hold on. Yes, I did see a picture of Dunn. Cause he was bald, dark skin, mustache. I told y'all, Diddy got it tight. Diddy got it tight. A lot of these men were bald, dark skin, mustache. And he liked men with big penises. Okay. And guess where he came from? Cowboys for Angels. That made Diddy kept them in business. So anyway, she said that Cat, let me go back to Cat because they have a few similarities in the story. Cassie said that she would, obviously take the drugs to kind of get out of her head or whatever. Miss Mamas would obviously still be on drugs, but she said she would dance. She would dance to kind of calm her nerves. And she said Dunn was getting turned on. And she said Dunn came closer to me. And she said he was touching my leg. We were touching each other. Diddy was watching. And she started to put and he was masturbating. Um, how you got your lingerie on, baby, and you feeling good, you feeling sexy. Now I don't know if this is how she felt, but when I got my lingerie on and I'm, doing my little dance, I be doing this little 1-2 right here. Move your body like a snake, ma. Move your body like a snake, ma. Move your body like a snake, ma. Move your body like a snake. Okay, who? This ain't about me. Anyway, so did it down there, tearing his, thing up, you know, masturbating. And then she says she starts to suck Don's penis while Diddy was talking and being encouraging and sweet. Sweet in quotes. She said that she was ready to speed things up a bit. So they walked to the bedroom. And so this is interesting because going back to Cassie's freak outs would always happen on the couch in the suite. And her and Diddy would then go to the bedroom. But these hotel nights, aka freak outs, same thing, just different names. Um, would happen, I guess, in the bedroom sometimes. And she wanted Diddy, she wanted Dunn to wear a condom. And Diddy said, I don't want that. you know, you would just think, as someone who vividly, now you would think someone as Diddy, who's done a lot of philanthropy work, also around, HIV and AIDS awareness, so on and so forth, he would understand the dangers of having unprotected sex with anybody, especially escorts and entertainers and people who get paid, sex workers. Like, you would think he would understand that, but maybe, um I don't know. But like, even here, this is 2007, Diddy and Alicia Keys perform for AIDS awareness. You know, quote, once you know about it, it's almost like you are an accessory to the genocide if you just turn your back to it. If you have knowledge about something this catastrophic going on, you can just go about your day and don't do anything about it. Every opportunity you get, it's like you are an accessory to it in some way. Every time I get a chance or the opportunity to speak out on an issue, to inform myself even more, to inform kids, it's something that I will be doing on an ongoing basis. Now, this is in 2007. Right? This is in 2007. And you know, before Cassie, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is, and again, I'm just speaking to, because obviously we know you can get more you can get more than HIV and AIDS from not wearing a condom. You can get herpes, you can get chlamydia, gonorrhea. But the one, you know what I'm saying? But like HIV, AIDS, something you, even though obviously back then, the medicine isn't wasn't as advanced as it is today. But even still, like, why would you? Just the fact that he always participated in AIDS and HIV awareness, but you so reckless in the bedroom, not just with somebody. You got multiple women, multiple women, and then you got these women having sex with multiple entertainers and escorts. Like, that's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Just real performances based BS, right? So anywho, he don't want that rubber thing. He for some reason didn't want that thing raw. Okay. He tells her these guys get tested all the time. Quote. So eventually Dunn put on a condom. Um, and so Dunn eventually took, so as they were having sex right before he got ready to ejaculate, he took the condom off and he ejaculated on her. She didn't say where, like if it was on her stomach or her thigh, but one can assume it was either her stomach or her thigh because that's typically the places that they release unless they do it in your mouth, and she didn't say that. Okay. So then Dunn left and they had sex, Diddy and Jane. And when this happens, like, Jane didn't get up and take a bath or shower or anything and wash Dunn off of her. Dunn got up, Diddy slid on in. And I quote, Jane Doe say, we were happy. So after this first fantasy night, hotel night, coming to fruition, we were happy. So she felt good about it. She felt exhilarated. It felt, it was taboo, it was fun. She was saying how she did something like that for the first time. It was exciting to her. Um, it was fun, it was sexy, but she didn't think they would do it again. Um, she was like, she thought that was just gonna be one time and maybe another random moment, but yeah. The next day they went on a boat day with his friends and they had a lot of fun. And she said, quote, I truly felt that night opened Pandora's box in our relationship. It was a door I was unable to shut. It was too much of it. 90% of the time, she had sex with other men in front of Diddy, but didn't want that. She just wanted to be with Sean. She said she wanted to have an old fashioned type of relationship. Now, that was Hotel Night, aka Freak Off number one, that happened in May of 2021. So now we on Hotel Night number two, second one. She said that she was agreeable because she was scared of losing him if she didn't do it. Again, Jane Doe's theme has been because when she talks about Diddy, she says, my partner, my partner, my partner, my partner, my partner wanted this. I did this for my partner. Whereas Cassie called him Sean. Now she called him Sean like maybe once or twice, but majority of the time it was, I'm sorry, y'all making too much noise. Majority of the time it was my partner, my partner, my partner. Um, Now, just as Cassie testified, Jane said that she did tell Diddy that she just didn't want to have sex with all these men. And as Cassie stated, he was dismissive when she said she didn't want to do hotel nights. She said Diddy would say, we don't have to do it, but would still do it. Um, Diddy obviously paid. She on the stand, Jane Doe revealed that her only sources of income primarily were her child support check and Diddy's $10,000 a month allowance. So, um, she said she felt obligated to perform these nights. And at one time, she and Diddy were talking, and Diddy said, if you want to break up, that's fine. Um, he would give her 3 months to find a new place to stay because Diddy say I ain't paying rent for a woman I'm not with. Huh. Girl, what? Diddy say I ain't no lick. Diddy say he ain't no sweet lick. Diddy say he ain't no sweet lick and he ain't giving something for nothing. You gotta come up off of it. Diddy say get on your job. I'm doing what I'm supposed in the audio recording that they played in court. Um, Hold on. I'm gonna play it actually. Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna play that later because I want to go in order. Okay. So so at this point, they done told her, okay, you can go on about your business, but I'm not paying rent for a woman I'm not with. And I give you 3 months. I'm gonna give you 90 days to get your stuff together. Mind you, her allowance was $10,000. She wanted $15,000, which was a love contract that Diddy came up with after he just hurt the girl feeling so much because the Jane Doe had saw Diddy out with another woman, and according to the dates and everything, we all know that that other woman was Young Miami. At that time, he's the only woman that we've seen besides George Travis at one time. Hell, he wasn't even spotted. We've never seen him with his newest baby mama. She just popped up with a baby. So yeah. So anywho, April. Wait a minute. They also call hotel nights debauchery as well. So So at this point, this is a recurring theme in their relationship. She said that her income from being a content creator had declined significantly because she was always with Diddy. Similar, Cassie had the same story. She couldn't really make music. She couldn't really do anything because she was always doing these freak offs once a week, and then they had to recover, and the freak off sometimes it'd be multiple men, not just one man for one night, so on and so forth. And she said she always had to stay on point. Didi liked her hair straight. Nails, tan, hair, glam, hair. What Fabulous say? Um, hair done, nails done, everything did. 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 Baby, she had to stay ready. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. She said she had child care in place. So I'm assuming she had, hey, I gotta go with Diddy, the big baller. Wanna be a baller, shakala. Cause listen, I don't care what tax bracket you on. Who you around? The man with the most money gonna always get the most attention. So when he got ready to call her child was in daycare somewhere. Somebody watching her child. She had her everything did. Everything was nice. She said, "Did he liked her to be a certain way? So she had to be that way." Okay. She said she barely went on trips without Diddy. Diddy didn't like for her to take trips. But in summer 2021, she went to the south of France and didn't tell Diddy. She went to the fashion show. She said he was mean and disappointed. Oh, let me go back to her appearance real quick. She said that Diddy wanted her nails light colored, creamy white. What is it with men and these this white nail polish? A lot of men like that white nail polish. What? Why I got them in a chokehold? Anywho, um, she said, and I quote, I was consumed by him. Here and there, I was doing some social posts, but it died down after prioritizing this relationship. I just said that. Then she talked about her income, she talks about her sources of income. And then she said Diddy gave her 20,000, gave her a wire for 20,000. Gave her between 5 to 10. He would give her like $5 to $10,000 in cash. Gave her money to furnish her home. But she said that the home was so big that she had to open up 3 credit cards to go in debt just to furnish her home. Girl, you, girl, 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 I know you fucking lying. Your whole, so here we have Jane Doe's whole allowance is going to this house that she couldn't furnish. Um, Maybe she couldn't get a job, or maybe she didn't, maybe a job would have interfered with her spending time with Diddy. She did mention that she told Diddy about how her friend makes like like made $4 million in one year on OnlyFans, and she wanted to, create her OnlyFans, just showing like offering her lingerie and stuff. And Diddy, shut that thing down, girl. You shut it down. You shut it down. You shut it down. Now, she said that she went into debt as a result of opening up those credit cards. Now, while Jane Doe was testifying, I look over there at Diddy. He's sitting here doing like this. Baby, Diddy is stressed. Not stressed, but stressed. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? This is in 2021. She told him about the OnlyFans account. She said that she wanted his approval. She wanted his approval so bad. So April 2023, she moved into the home Diddy was paying rent for. Couldn't afford, they prosecutors say, couldn't afford rent on your own. No. Mm. So she said, I wanted to experience something that was nice. Diddy said, let's do a love contract after they broke up and got back together. Um, she wanted 15,000, but Diddy was like, nah, come on, I'm gonna give you 10, little mama. And Robin Greenhill, Diddy's accountant, sent an email on 5/11/2023 on Jane's rent. Basically was saying, hey, we sent the money, blah, blah, blah. It was Jane, the accountant, and the landlord or whatever. Hey, we sent the money. Please let me know if you get it. And if not, we can, so we can do a search. Like, so basically saying, hey, we already paid the $10,000, the 10,000, wow, okay? So let me see. Now we're going back into the hotel nights. She said they would travel to Turks, Miami, LA, New Jersey. Um, the travel agent named Jess would book a lot of a lot of their travel. It'll be the typical hotel suites, the drinks, the red lights, music and alcohol, just the hotel nights. There will be sheets, blankets, and towels covering furniture because there'll be and I quote, an excessive use of baby oil. Same exact pattern with Cassie. Cassie testified to this too. She said there'll be 2 dozen or more bottles of baby oil. I really want to know when did he get into baby oil and how, because this obsession for I need to look up. Hold on, let me look this up. Hold on 1 second. So apparently Diddy, I mean, this goes without saying, is obviously an oil enthusiast because 2 dozen or more bottles of baby oil. Cassie said they will use at least 10 bottles of baby oil during a freak off. Everything's so oily from the couches. Oh, girl tested for one of his assistants. I think Capricorn Clark said oil be was it was handprints on the walls because of the oil. So just they, face down, ass up type situation. I'm assuming, and you just touching the walls and oil, probably putting oil on the penis and they say Diddy like to have you glistening. Just oil, 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 oil. Just an oil enthusiast. Okay. So then, now she's having hotel nights at her apartment or house that Diddy. I don't know if it's a house or an apartment, but it's a place to live. It's a residence. So we can call it her home. August 31st, 2022. Now, this is just before his baby Love was born. Okay. Baby Love was born in October 2022. So that's the ninth month, the 10th month of the year. So that would mean that the baby mama got pregnant in January 2022. Now, throughout this whole time, he's seen with Young Miami, Joy, flying Jane Doe out every week. Boy, this man was busy. And it's just the people we know about. Not the people who, you know what I'm saying, want a little 1 2 1 2 with you, and it ain't no thing, you know what I'm saying? Woo! Mm. So anyway, so while they are having these hotel nights, again, hotel nights and freakouts are the same thing. Cassie called them freakouts. Jane calls them hotel nights. She says that the foreplay was very prolonged. And Cassie testifies to this. She would touch herself while touching the other man. Then it would be oral sex. And these moments lasted for a long time. And she said it would be many hours of oral sex. I gave her Tylenol because she said her jaws hurt. I know for a fact. Because sometimes you can be down there doing your thing and your jaws can hurt. You down there for hours? Girl, no, your mouth about to fall off. Okay? But did he like to see these things? And so she would try to speed things up to get it over with because she just wanted to get the process over with so she could be with Diddy, get her alone time. Same thing with Cassie. Cassie said the exact same thing. She just wanted to speed up this process so she can go lay down with her man. So she can go lay down with her man. Moved into bedrooms, moved into the bedrooms to have sex. And she said she would suggest that we just move to the next point. So, and I quote, it could just be me with my partner. Diddy would come in after the escort finishes and he would get his round in. And Diddy would they would make love. So it was foreplay, and that includes using all the oil, rubbing on each other, the oral sex, intercourse, and sex with Diddy. Sessions happen more than once with a person and maybe another person. A hotel night could last 24 to 30 hours or more. Um, and they didn't sleep during that time. And then we have a discussion. Now, I will say that this was the most that I've ever heard KK's name being mentioned. Christina Karam, that was, I think I'm saying her last name right, but that was Diddy's chief of staff. She's also included in a lawsuit, and she did submit a statement. She put out a statement that claimed she didn't know none of this was going on. Hold on, let me get it. Now, the term co-conspirator and KK, Christina Corms, aka KK name, was used in the same sentence. Now, I don't believe there are any official filings of KK or anything that points to her being arrested or standing trial at the moment. There is no such thing submitted. However, in court last week, they did mention, well, the fourth week of testimony, they did mention, they being the prosecutors, did mention her name and the word co-conspirator in the same sentence. As you know, KK was the chief of staff, and she is accused of being the one that held this thing together. She was at the center of all this. So I don't know if y'all remember when a woman named Ashley Parham accused Drewski, Odell Beckham, and another person of violently gang raping her, and Diddy violently gang raping her. Uh, excuse me. Things have since came out. Clearly, we know Drewski had nothing to do with it. He wasn't even in this world at that time. And but the woman named KK as someone who threatened her, who drugged her, did all this stuff in these lawsuits, or at least watched it happen. And so KK released in a statement to USA Today. And this is what it says. And I'm gonna share my screen, baby. Share my screen, baby. It says, for months, this is back in October 2024. No, I'm sorry, March. Oh, March. For months, horrific accusations have been made about me in various lawsuits regarding my former boss. These false allegations of my involvement are causing irreparable and incalculable damage to my reputation. That's not a word I say every day. And the emotional well-being of myself and my family, she continued. I have never condoned or aided and abetted the sexual assault of anyone, nor have I ever drugged anyone. The idea that I could be accused of playing a role in or even being a bystander to the rape of anyone is beyond upsetting, disturbing, and unthinkable. That is not who I am, and my heart goes out to all victims of sexual assault. I am confident that the allegations against me will be proven to be untrue. This is a statement that she released to USA Today in response to a woman's claim, Ashley Parham, who claimed Diddy and his associates, Drewski and Odell Beckham Jr., violently gang raped her, and she filed this lawsuit in October 2024. Police have called Parham, all right, Ashley's claims unfounded, right? Okay. So things are really heating up for KK because she's mentioned a lot in Jane Doe's testimony. Okay, so here we go. The prosecutor asked her how many trips to Las Vegas. She said one in 2023. They used Diddy's private jet, stayed 2 nights, performing and hosting events. Diddy was there, for business or whatever. Had a hotel night, sex with an entertainer. And they brought up his term going off the grid. And Jane said, he said it, it meant like carefree. Um, and stated that he used the word freak when communicating with her. Freak ho, freak ho. Anyway, that song came in my head. She said in a quote, he wants his freak, wants me to be wild and free. Didn't use any protection. She inquired about the escort wearing a condom twice. One time we're done. Oh, hold on, that's a note to myself. Diddy responded he was dismissive and then he would guilt trip her. So then during this freak off, they're having a conversation about using this condom. And Diddy was like, what y'all looking for? And so let me play that recording because he say things like, you was just taking that. Hold on, let me play that. Actually, I don't know if I got that one pulled up and it's taking too long, but basically he's saying in the recording, you was just taking it, you know what I'm saying? Because again, this is with Dunn. This is another hotel night. She's been having sex with Dunn unprotected. So Diddy is like, what's the problem now? Because she wants a condom. So she's telling Dunn, I think they're in the chair. You were just, yeah, then Diddy says you were just taking that, yeah. So she's telling him, I think they're in the chair, the condoms. And Diddy was just like, basically said, if you don't touch yourself right now, like if you don't get this started, girl. And she said, she said, I don't want to disappoint my partner. He would be agitated if I didn't do what he, wanted me to do. She went up to 3 rounds when Comey, the prosecutor, and she's a really good prosecutor too. She's really good. Was asking her about who decided when she could take a break during a hotel night. She started crying and said, Diddy. She said she was hungry. She would say she was hungry. She would lay down. She'll give him some faces or gestures that say like I'm tired. Come on, like can I tap out? Please let me tap out. I'm tired. Um, and then he would say, you're not getting tired on me, are you? Let's finish strong. I told y'all this man was trying to encourage people. Let's finish strong. Let's end it on a high note. She was still crying. I don't know. And she just was like, she don't know why she was allowing those things to happen. A few questions were like, why did you and why? I don't know. Looking back, I just don't know. Um, she said she cried after hotel nights. She said she cried twice. She was saying how something quick, a little quick little 1-2 turned into 18 hours. See, that's forced labor. She couldn't even take no break. 18 hours? How much? Like that's whew. Um, there was one part where this man was sweating all over her and she just couldn't suck his, you know what, and eventually Diddy just dismissed the man. But guess what? He called somebody else. Yeah, so he gonna get what he wanted. Um, she said she would feel lonely, she would feel sad. She didn't want Diddy to leave her alone. Um, there was one point they were together in Beverly Hills at the Waldorf in Beverly Hills. She was with him, had a hotel night. Um, Hold on. Am I jumping ahead of myself? Okay. She said that one point she was crying and she said Diddy looked at her with a disgusting face and she said she was just she didn't want to feel lonely, sad. She didn't want him to leave her alone. She was crying on the stand. She said that Diddy, hold on, I said that part. I just wanted to be in his arms. She said that she was crying. She said that Diddy wanted her to get piercings. And she did get piercings. And she took them out. She got her nipples pierced. She took them out because her they got infected because they kept on getting snagged on things. They got infected, and he got her teeth done. She got veneers because he simply didn't like her teeth. She said one time she was showering with him, blacking out. She said I was so high. She said I was so high. And she said that Diddy was like, "Don't do that right now. I'm fucking high. I can't see this." It was just me from start to finish. She was saying that she did a lot of the work. She did most of the work while he's sitting down there playing with his meat and somebody humping on her. She said she was just doing majority of the work. She said, and she started crying. She said it was just me from start to finish. And at this point, Diddy got his right leg over his left leg, and he just tapping his fingers against his thigh. Just tapping his fingers against his thigh. And she said, after hotel night, hold on. Oh, she said I would make sure to put on his favorite show so she could finally cuddle with him. And after hotel night, she enjoyed being with Sean. Said she testified to sending sex with Diddy. She testified sending explicit messages that were about her having sex with another man to Diddy. So she was sending Diddy messages about, oh, I'm gonna have sex with so and so, and make it good for you, and so on and so forth. So November the 9th, 2021. Hold on, let me see something. Let me put. So now, all this is going on November 2021. So Jane Doe texts Diddy November the 9th, 2021. I'm horny for you. Diddy, what you want to do? And hold on. Wait a minute. Anyway, hold on. Let me pause. So this is November 2021, right? So Diddy, their relationship still new. Okay. And at this time, rumors have been swirling about Diddy dating Young Miami. And I specifically remember this picture because I posted it. And this is June the 4th, 2021. Young Miami and Diddy holding hands on the staircase. I don't know where the hell they were going, but I think her caption was something like, "It's a whole lot of money." That was when that Bia girl, "It's a whole lot of money in this." That's when her song was out, kind of popping and stuff. I believe that was her caption, I think. Or did I caption it? Because I used to work somewhere and we posted a photo. I posted a photo. Or maybe I captioned it. Anyway, nevertheless, this is the first photo, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is the first photo. Yeah. This is the first photo of Diddy and Miami publicly together on social media. 2021. Then in 2022, when Carisha Please came out, that's when, she interviewed him and they confirmed that they had something going on. And it's important to note that Young Miami has always stated that they were single, but they were really good friends. But they were both single. When we together, we together. When we not, we not. So she approached this monogamous thing like, all right, When we together, we doing us. When we not together, we not together. Because he let it be known, even with Jane Doe, he wasn't monogamous. He had a lot of women. Okay. So even after this June 2021, um, she texts him, and they still together. She texts him in November and saying she's horny for him. And Diddy was like, "What you want to do? I want to suck paws while you give me that strong sex game. Stroking the heart next to me while another one is inside of me." Um, these are messages that she sent to Diddy after this June 4th, 2021 picture of Miami and Diddy. And this was in November. She sent this and she, was texting him. And she said she wants to play into his fantasy, so on and so forth. Um, so she testified and was saying that she was realizing that this was their dynamic. And she said she was scared by how often it started to become. And September 17th, 2023, text from Jane to Diddy. I wish we could jump this back to when like they weren't doing freak offs. She said one night of fun turned into hold on. She said one night of fun turned into something unexpected. And she said, I'm confusing lust for love. I don't want to play this role in my life. Um, I don't want to feel obligated to have sex with you in fear of losing my house. And at this point, and again, and let me make it clear, I don't know if I said it wrong earlier, but Diddy started to pay her rent in 2023. Diddy started to pay her rent in 2023. And he said, she was saying this is the only reason you pay for the house. Diddy texted her and said, girl, stop. That was his response. Girl, stop. Girl, if you don't get off my damn phone with it, you know how niggas be. Now, there's so many notes, y'all. So many notes. Um, so New Year's 2022 rolls around. And then by this time it's public that he has. I mean, she knew he had other men, and I mean, she knew he had other women, excuse me. And at this point, he had a baby. The women have been online. Um, Miami been all up and down his Instagram page, even when they called themselves, I guess, not fooling with each other no more. They deleted each pictures of each other, and then Young Miami posted a photo or a video of Didi with like I guess sent her flowers or something like that. They made it back up basically, or that's what it looked like according to these social media streets. And so, I mean, was that 2023? I don't. But my point is, it's more than obvious that she's not his main girl. More than obvious, right? So New Year's 2022 hotel night lasted for 3.5 days. This is the longest one. The shortest one was 12 hours. Average was 24 to 30 hours. She took an X pill. She ordered her some protein shakes, water to stay up, drugs in the room, including Tusi. She used X, Smiley, Same old, same old. She said she had a rule that entertainers could not use drugs with her because she didn't want them. She didn't know how they would act on top of her. Hold on 1 second. And from what I looked up, Tusi is just another, I guess, another concoction of pink cocaine. So that's what they were on that night. So then she said she was crying. She said she really wanted Diddy to get sober. I told y'all that man just was on drugs after drug after drug, drug after drug after drug. He had a sobriety party, right? And so according to Jane Doe, Diddy said, "I'll do 30 days. Let's have one more sobriety party, like one more round of fun." And they went to they went to the hotel, and it was like a 12 to 18 party. After she had three guys. No, hold on, no. That was what no. After the second guy, she went to the bathroom and threw up. Diddy came in and Diddy was like, "That's good, so you feel better? Let's go." Because the third guy was there. And she stated that she felt repulsed. And she said, Diddy would call his assistants for drugs. Hold on. Brendan is that guy that got arrested with him in Miami. Hold on 1 second. Let me pull him up. Now, this is Brendan. Y'all remember? Um, he got arrested. His charges were dropped. He entered a plea deal. And this was in May. No, he this was after his arrest in March for cocaine and marijuana possession. So he had some type of plea deal. So he was basically entered into a diversion program, and once completed, the charges were dropped. He's a former Syracuse University basketball player, and it was stated that he was Diddy's drug mule. Well, anywho, this is the same Brendan that was mentioned during Jane Doe's testimony. This is who would bring Diddy drugs. Okay. Then she said she started being a drug trafficker for Diddy child. A single parent. Her only source of income is Diddy and her child's child support check. She sees Diddy just about every week or so. She Diddy gives her a $10,000 allowance. She can't afford the home. The allowance goes to the home that she lives in with her child. She said that she deserved that they felt that they des she felt she deserved that they deserved something nice and she deserved something to kind of stabilize her or to bring quote balance to their relationship. It was really important for her to get that place. In her posting on Instagram and whatnot went down drastically because she was consumed by Diddy. So after all of that is going on, now she's carrying, she's having hotel nights. She really doesn't want to do it. Um, they had one more sobriety night so Diddy can get sober. She had sex with men, and she's doing all of this. And now she's entered into carrying drugs from LA to Miami for Diddy. She went to Diddy's. Oh, at this time she's living in LA. Diddy got a house in uh Diddy has a house in LA. She went to his Beverly Hills residence and was told to pick up a package from there. And KK, the girl I just showed y'all, her statement Actually, I didn't show y'all what she looked like. Hold on. I don't think y'all saw what she looked like. Let me see. This is KK, the woman who's at the center of all of this. Actually, the day after it was reported, Diddy paid Cassie or settled Cassie, his companies. Anywho, I forgot what I was saying. Anyway, this KK. This is KK, and actually, this is a post from Diddy back in 2021, January of 2021, where he's talking about KK and says, meet Christina Coram, Chief of Staff at Combs Enterprise. Christina, aka KK, keeps everything in my life and my business running. She's been my right hand for the last 8 years, consistently, proven to execute and get shit done. Don't know how I function without her. Yeah. So this is what I was saying was the day he settled with Cassie, she's sitting beside him. Please pop up. Where's that photo? Where's the photo? Where's the photo? Dang, it's not pulling up. But anyway, they both outside, and she's just sitting like literally right beside him that same day. Anyway, so KK tells, "Oh girl, it's fine. I do it all the time. Just put it in your checked luggage." So she wrapped it in like a white envelope looking thing, according to her. Put it in her checked luggage. So KK says this is something she do all the time. So she went to Diddy say, go before you come out here, go pick up a package from the house. She gets to the crib, KK there. KK tells her, "Oh, it's okay. I do this all the time. Just put it in your checked luggage." Okay. Um, she said that she felt like she couldn't get away from Diddy's dynamic. And so at first Diddy was reaching out to the entertainers to book them to come and whatnot. But then she said she started reaching out to entertainers because at least, even though she don't want to do this, at least she could pick the people that she wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like she already don't want to do it, but if I gotta do it, let me at least be able to control what the hell's going in and outside of my vagina. Like, okay. And then speaking of, Prosecutor Comey asked her, like, did you have any, basically the way she worded this question was real, it made you like think like it made you think like, God damn. But she was like, did you have any control over your own body, basically in the situation? And she said no. So so anyway, so she's watching this guy. They watching porn. She watching porn with Diddy. And they're watching the Diddy and Jane Doe. They are on YouTube. I mean, they are on porn sites watching this guy named Cabral, aka Chef. I believe I'm saying his name right, Cabral. Um, and Diddy was asking her, "Do you want that? Do you want to feel that?" So she messages him. And eventually they talk on FaceTime and she said, "Thanks, God, see me on FaceTime." She asked to see his penis and showed her body. Diddy was watching. The way Diddy was able to watch was through the screen mirror option on the TV. Cabral didn't know Diddy was in the room when this happened. Cabral is from Atlanta. They flew him to Atlanta. No, they flew him from Atlanta to LA. Um, and she said Cabral was just as nervous as me. At this point, Diddy got his head down in the courtroom, wiping his face, eyes. And she said Cabral seemed like a safe option for me. These men would get paid between 4,000 and 10,000 in cash or cash app. And in 2022, she had somebody named Antoine Harris. Watching porn, repeated specific vid. Diddy wanted to see something sexy. She FaceTimed him. Told him she was alone. Diddy wanted pics of their penises. Cassie said Diddy wanted black men with big penises. He likes big penises. He likes to look at them. She said, because my partner wanted to see explicit photos. Get them to send to you or something. So then, her and Cabral, like, it sounded like her and Cabral had like a cool relationship, like they would flirt with each other. Um, and I guess she just wanted to keep it cool because sh that was one escort that she felt was a safe option for her. So she wanted to keep that copacetic. And so y'all remember when I said it was some man on top of her and she couldn't perform oral sex on him and Diddy was like, "Don't worry, he can leave, but I got another one coming." Well, that was who came? Hold on, Diddy was Paul. He said he told her he had a surprise for her, and it was Paul. Now this is in March, no, August, end of July, I believe, end of July, 2024. She was blindfolded when Paul came in. She said, "I took a liking to Paul, but didn't want to have sex with him." And so Michael was also another escort. She saw him at the sobriety party. Michael said he didn't want to be filmed. Yeah, Michael's like, "Listen, I just came here to get my money. I ain't doing all that. I ain't doing all that." So in 2023, um, for her birthday, February 2023, this well after Young Miami done said, or they done, this is well after he done had gave Young Miami that show. They done did, done had a good time together. Uh, this is when she had that after that sign saying "Go Poppy" or something Poppy when he was honored at the BET Awards. This was at the outlet. She had a 2023. She was celebrating her birthday with Diddy in 2023 in February. And I should have said this 100 minutes ago, but They are trying to say that Diddy sex trafficked her by fraud, and this is a perfect example as to why. Um, she said Diddy was so loving and so sweet as always. She said she thought that they would be by themselves. But little did she know Diddy had something already planned, baby. Um, he gave her a B-Day gift, a necklace, and now she's crying, telling what happened. They were at a Noble restaurant inside of a hotel, and she wants to be by herself with him. And this is when he starts to tell her, um, after this, I'm gonna need for you to put them heels on and shit, cause I got a surprise for you. I got an entertainment coming for you, and I'm gonna need that about you. And she said she just accepted it. And so she was very robotic. She said she was just tuning out. I just put my thoughts away. I turned to somebody else who can, she said I just turned into somebody else who can perform this. She said one time she tried to have a hotel night without drugs, and it was just not, it was very taxing on her. It was even worse with without the drugs. Like at least, the drugs were some form of an escape, but not having drugs and having random dinglings hitting you upside your head and stuff, it just was too much. No, excuse me. So at this point, she's sobbing on the stand. Um, she said this guy, I don't have his name, but she said this entertainer, he felt more like a stranger to me than anyone. I didn't want to do this on my birthday. She couldn't even get a break on her birthday. Work ain't honest, but it pays the bills. Even on her birthday, she could not be out. He would not get a woman a break. She thought it was just gonna be them. She can't even enjoy her dinner in peace because he's telling her after this, it's time for you to run the play like this. She couldn't even enjoy it. She couldn't enjoy herself for her birthday. She asked for a condom, and he told her, "You better not ask for a fucking condom." Gave her dirty looks, and this time she's sobbing on the stand. And eventually, Diddy gave her a condom, and she said he hated it. He walked away. He was so disappointed. I wanted it to be over. Man finishes, leaves. They switch rooms, move to a bigger suite. He was celebratory, cakes, flowers, bracelets. Cabral shows up. This is that sex trafficking by fraud, what they're trying to prove. This man invited, and she testified that this man, Diddy, invited entertainers to their room without her knowing, expecting her to perform sex acts. That's sex trafficking by fraud. She said Cabral shows up. Hours and hours of sex and foreplay. After Cabral, Diddy said Don was coming. God, you ain't satisfied. On her birthday, on her birthday, on her birthday, she get all dressed up. She gets all dressed up. Got her nice, dress on. Got her white nails and toes and stuff. Got her hair straight. I'm assuming because Diddy likes her hair straightened. Got her little tan. She already done told this man she don't want to do this. She just tired of it. And he, three dicks. Well, really four. His, the other three. Ugh. She said, and then, so they continued to talk about the testimony and stuff. And she said, I was happy to be with my partner. And so these are the men she had sex with. These are her entertainers, Paul, Dunn, Antoine. I really want to say she called him Antoine. But anyway, Leo. and Cabral. And speaking of the nipple piercing, first of all, hold on, let me go back. I wish a nigga would ask me to do anything for him on my birthday. It's my birthday. How about you invite nobody and the money you pay them, give it to me. It's my birthday. It's my party. I can cry if I want to. Because it may be nice when you are in a consensual relationship with your man or somebody you like. You may not even want to actually have sex with him that night, but you give him some sympathy coochie. And you know, you be like, please hurry up and get up off me. Please. So can you imagine a stranger on top of you and you don't even really want to do it? You doing it because your partner, my partner wanted it to happen? Oh hell no. On her birthday, she had to clock in all the time. Woo! And she said she also had UTIs, recurring UTIs. So it's just people walking around itching, scratching, smelling like yeast, urine stinking, taking antibiotics, taking Molly, taking cocaine, taking Tusi, taking X. Ah! Baby oil, baby oil, baby oil, booty sweat. Hours and hours and hours, and I can do this for hours and hours and hours. Mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. No. And speaking of her nipple piercing, remember I told y'all she had piercing. She said KK set that up. You know, KK, I wonder if she gonna testify because she has been at the center of this. And like I said, I've heard her name more this week, well, during the last week of testimony, the fourth week of testimony, than ever. So I'm waiting to see if she gonna testify. Is that who the prosecutors are going to end with? Because I'm just I don't know. I don't see KK testifying for Diddy, clearly. So yeah. She kept him for a year. And then she said Diddy was like, where are my piercings? Then she said her neck and her back were hurting because you know how you be on the edge of the big nigga try to slide you down on the edge of the bed. And she said she was on the edge of the bed for hours, for many hours. And she said, that's what my partner wanted to see. She said she was burning, had constant burning and constant urination, yeast infections, UTIs. I already said that weekly. She said her vagina was sore. She said she never told Diddy she was sore. Didn't want to ruin the mood. She was sobbing. And when Comey started talking about her vagina being sore, I guess the judge was tired of hearing it. He said, let's have a sidebar. Ma'am, how many times you gonna ask her about her sore ass coochie? Because when they got back from that sidebar, she moved along to the other question. She said Diddy would be upset and defensive, belittling. He overpowered their conversation about her not wanting to do hotel nights. And she said she wrote thoughts and feelings into her app in her iPhone. And Diddy would tell her he wasn't aware she ain't want to do hotel nights. And then the Comey, I thought this was interesting. Comey was like, how it was presented made it seem like Jane Doe didn't realize that she actually did tell him that she didn't want to do freak offs anymore up until recently because she said Diddy would say, I wasn't aware you ain't want to do hotel nights. And then Comey was like, when did you realize that you didn't want to do them, or did you look back and like in your messages and realize whatever? And she was like, yeah. She said she went back into her messages and stuff and realized that she had told him this several times. Told him this several times. So at this point, she said since 2021, she wasn't interested. So the same year it was a grand opening and grand closing to her in her mind. Same year he introduced her to this, the same year she was turned off, but she continues to do them, right? So she said that at this point she's starting to feel sad and jealous because after after she had a hotel night, he was with another woman doing spending quality time and doing things she wanted to do. And we all know that other woman was Young Miami. Um, she said, I felt mistreated because I was doing hotel nights, and when I leave, you giving quality time I was begging for. You laid up for days. I see what I'm turning into. I'm seeing into your eyes. So these are messages that she sent Diddy like, oh, I see what you over there doing with her. Oh, so this is what you do with me. This is all I get from you. All I get from you is yeast infections, UTIs, neck and back pain, oral sex for hours, some man humping on me sweating. But this other girl get everything. So basically, whatever everything I'm doing, she ain't got to do none of it, and she get way more than me. She get the quality time I want. And she was like, she told him, I need a breather. I need a break from you. Hopefully, you two have a great Thanksgiving. Now, this is in November. Um, I don't have the year, but it had to be maybe November 2021 or 2022. Because they started being in public in 2021. So this was either November 2021 or November 2022. She's sending this. Um, then there was another woman. Now I don't know who this woman is, but she was saying she basically saw a woman at his gym and she got mad. Text him. And he was like, audio recording was like, she asked me if she can work out with me. And I said, okay. I'm not going to keep explaining stuff to you. You're nuts. Go be sad. Go crazy. I don't deserve being honest. And then every time, I don't deserve being honest with somebody. And every time they see somebody with me, I'm working out. Fucking crazy. Ain't nobody just, and she was like, ain't nobody just come work out. I don't even fucking care who you laid up with. I wanted that time with, she said, I wanted that time with him. She said, I had to take all of this on and they didn't. So she like, this is November 2021. She said, I gotta do all of this. I gotta do all of this. And this all I get? I don't get no alone time with you. Every time we together, I'm always sucking dicks. I just want to have sex with you. I just want to suck your dick. I don't want the musty balls hit me in my face. So that was November 2020, November 22nd, 2021. They're like, goodbye, bye. So then November 2024, Jane texts him, say, baby, FaceTime me. And she said Diddy called her to calm her down, told her he loved her. Now, this was the first time that I ever heard in her testimony that he loved her. If I'm not mistaken, well, no, I can't say that because I can't remember, but in this testimony, he didn't the love didn't seem mutual as far as like if it was voiced or not, right? Okay. So then so then this is where this is what mama said she didn't had enough. Enough. February the 5th. Now see, men can be doggedy, men can be low down, child. This just too much. February 5th, 2022. Jane to Diddy. Baby, should I wear a white or black dress? She preparing to meet for her birthday. You know how you ask your man, like how you want my nails or how you want me to wear my hair. Like that's a thing. When you really like somebody, you want their opinion on your outfits, different parts of your life. So they went to the Ward in LA, B-Day celebration. I was really high and in love with my partner. I was okay with it. Leo came. So it's another B-Day celebration, had a hotel night. So this time she was saying I was really high and in love with my partner. I was okay with it. So at this point, what my notes say? Hold on. They sure went to Miami. It seemed like the only well, she did say she really didn't do a lot of traveling. She just went to Miami a lot because my notes say that was 2022 for her birthday. And then February, he started dating another woman. And I quote, Jane Doe saw this big grandiose for her B-Day versus my B-Day. Now he come to the competing thing. Private jet, villa on island. Such a beautiful B-Day for this woman. Drastic difference, quote, in B-Day celebration. So he would tell Jane Doe that Young Miami was just a business partner. And he would be like, you don't know how much money she spends on me. Um, Diddy would say it was all business. Don't believe the things that are online, and it was not all like that. Type of, the same shit niggas say. It ain't like that. Yes, it is like that. It's exactly like that. I can see and I can hear and I can read. It's like that, right? Speaking of money, did Young Miami was spending on Diddy. Y'all remember when she got him that chain? Y'all remember when Young Miami got Diddy that chain? He was so happy. That's so good. You know what I mean? Like, that's so good. Child, I didn't realize that it had music playing in the background. I hope it don't do nothing to my video. Lord have mercy. But yeah, so anywho, speaking of money, okay, that's the money, right? So now they got the comparisons. Cause now it's like, okay, now she got more money than me. And clearly I ain't up there. I'm already doing all these hotel nights. And to my knowledge, she ain't doing all of that. She already got a more glamorous B-Day than me. Now you throw in the fact that she buys you all these gifts. What about me? What if it said? Anyway, Diddy said, okay, all business or whatever, da da da. And then she said, I don't ever want to do another hotel night with you. And speaking of, let's look at this birthday stuff that he got, Miami child. Let's see. Anyway, I was looking for something, but can't find it. So, anywho, at this point, Mama is pissed because I'm on my hands and knees, literally, lathered in baby oil, looking like a just oiled up. Looking like I've been rolling around in oil, and all I get is a few dicks. And I'm obviously still struggling because I can't. I went in debt trying to buy furniture from my home, and this all I get. I ain't good for nothing. And you know when a woman, it's one thing for a woman to know you got other women, but when it's obvious that you not number one, you not even a strong number two, or your number two way down here and the woman way up here, you feel some type of way. So now you starting to compare. And she was like such a beautiful birthday for this woman. So a year later, she's still doing hotel nights. He told her that they would have more trips and more date nights, but that never happened. And so now she's sending long text messages and it's saying, this is 2022, December 2022. Partying with another girl, basically partying with another girl the night before. I don't want to do drugs. Hold on. I'm mixing up my. Let's go to November the 26th. She's basically saying she don't want to do drugs for days and days and fulfill your freaky wild desires. And she said she didn't have courage to stand up to him. She just didn't have the courage to stand up to him. And she later on December, I'm done being used by you. And she said she would give him foot rubs and uh in her messages, she was just like, you will be, basically, I'm done. Cause he'll call her. Basically, she kind of like a cleanup woman. Cause she said he'll call. She was like, "Oh, what you want me to put you to sleep, rub your feet, and be there while you texting and FaceTiming with other women?" Like this dog, girl, stand up, girl. He be doing all that while she over there rubbing them little ugly feet. So then, this is where I think this is when it really just became too much for her. Because again, I'm going back to comparison. Mind you, because back like I said, when they be testifying, they kind of go all over the place. They don't always go in order. So that's why my notes reflect it. In Miami again, Jane Doe, damn, that's the only place he really took her ass. He took her to Turks and Caicos and the Bahamas one time, and then everything else was just Miami, Miami, Miami. Yeah, that's where he's at live. Anyway, she says after they spend their time together, she says, "Why did you lie to me?" This what she texted him. And to add context, she said, he left me in a room by myself and he embarked on a private vacation with another girl. Plain private island decorated for her. She said, I felt terrible. It broke my heart. He was just laid up with this woman, hotel nights. And right after her B-Day, I'm talking about literally not even a week after her actual B-Day, he already on a private island with Young Miami. And she said, you know how you be with your dude and they just not acting right? Are they taking more calls than usual? Are they saying little buzzwords? And you like, wait a minute. That must mean you about to do something. She said she knew something was going on because she said he was making phone calls asking about food, the shelf, preparing for stuff. She said I had it in the pit of my stomach. And she flat out asked him, are you going on a trip after this? He looked her dead in her face and said no. Nah. When you dating a man and you know he's not monogamous, or you dating a man and you know that y'all not monogamous, y'all not in a committed relationship, but y'all doing y'all thing. You never want to be the one he don't go all out for. You never want to be that. You never want to be that. Like, like all joke. I mean, it's not a funny case. But there, I guess because this is so normalized and stuff, it's really sad. I don't care how many times you make your knees touch your elbows. You just don't want to be the one the nigga don't care about, or you don't want to feel like the one a man doesn't care about. And Diddy has so much money, him paying her rent. What is that? Nothing. But to the point to where a man is celebrating a birthday with one woman. At this point, his daughter is out how old? November, December, January, about 4 months. He got a 4-month-old baby with another woman who works in cybersecurity, so she has somewhat of a brain. Um, Planning one birthday while you on a trip with another chick you having a birthday you celebration with, right? I mean, you literally taking calls talking about said events, and then gonna look her dead in the face like she crazy and say no. He didn't like her like that because oh girl was the one he was showing off all up and down his IG. I mean, some people say, "Oh, that don't mean that." Well, in this case, it did mean something. And then here you got Miss. I love my partner. He just dogging her out. I mean, girl, stand up. I remember, like, while she was testifying, I remember saying, this is really sad. Like, I always want to know how old somebody is and their, like, makeup, like their family makeup, because at what point do you say, hell no? Anywho, Diddy tells her, now this is after they not together. He celebrated a birthday with her, then paid for her to have another birthday dinner with her friends. Okay, cool. Did it say so now she texting him about the situation. Did it say, I didn't feel like telling you what I was doing with someone else. I didn't tell her what I was doing with you. I want a good birthday. Hope you have a good dinner, love. What I tell y'all 100 minutes ago, she went with him. He didn't go with her. Then he texted her and said, "You look like you had a great party. We had a good time. Stay in the light." Here he go being motivational again. She says, "I been staying strong about it." She said she ready to get off the hamster wheel. I remember I told the nigga that. Nigga, I'm tired. I'm going in circles. I'm tired. I gotta get off this hamster wheel with you, nigga, because you doing too fucking much. And so this is what really, really, really got her. What really stung, in addition to him leaving her after a hotel night, another hotel night for her birthday, he goes and has this elaborate trip for Young Miami and takes her to Turks and Caicos. I don't know what's up with Jane Doe and Turks and Caicos, but she says that she wanted to go to Turks and Caicos. Mind you, he already took her one time. She wanted to go back. And she said Turks and Caicos was a trip I've been dying for. I wanted to go back where I fell in love with him, and that place was Turks. On that stand, Turks and Caicos was so important to her. Like, I remember thinking, damn, she really wanted to go back to Turks. Like, she really wanted to go back to Turks. So it wasn't just that he left her, or it wasn't just that she was doing hotel nights. It wasn't just that Young Miami birthdays were way more extravagant than hers. To put the nail in the coffin, you left me and took her to a place you been knew I wanted to go back to, nigga. You been knew. And I just said the only place he took her was in Miami. They didn't go no damn well. Hell, he was with Joy in Italy. He had a birthday party for her. That nigga gonna throw a birthday party. And he said, let's not do anything anymore. Tired of you throwing sex in my face. Let's just be friends. I can't take you comparing yourself to another woman. And she said, Jane responded, to add to your fucked up lie, you want to break up? I give you whatever you want. The destination I've been asking for years. She said she felt tricked. He said, let's be friends. I can't take you comparing yourself. Let's just be friends. Jane Doe said, I treat you good. What am I doing wrong? You're breaking my heart by asking to be friends. Diddy said, this is February 13, 2023. Not trying to break your heart. I remember when I used to cry over a nigga. Now I would be like, why are you doing this to my heart? My heart, my heart. What about my heart? What about my heart? Why are you doing this to me? I'm good to you, man. What Erica Campbell say when she found out her husband was cheating on her? I'm good to you, man. I was good to this man. I never looked at another man. I never touched another man. I never imagined being with another man. Why you gonna break my heart? Just break my heart one time. You telling me this and you break my heart again. You tell me that you come on, man. Y'all, they need to bring man. That show was so good. I'm talking about Mary had that reality show. You tell me this, then you tell me to hit me with that. Just break my heart one time, man. How many times, man? You tell me this, I think I'm over it, then you tell me something. Come on, man. I don't want to do this no more. I don't want him. 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 Woo, that was a good scene, baby. That was a good scene. Anyway, now 2018, just like a nigga, did it. Hello, hello, good morning. He done told her to stand in light at the breaking her heart. Stuff full on full display. Hello, hello, good morning. I miss you. Let me make it up to you. You taking it too far now. She said she didn't respond for a couple of weeks. Said she didn't respond for a couple of weeks. And then she ended up going to Paris for Fashion Week. Called her 30 times in a row. Felt like he cared. And they started talking again. And we talked about Paris already, right? Where he didn't like that she win and stuff like that. Hold on, is this the same? Anyway, disregard that part. Y'all, these stories be so redundant, child. They sometimes they be running, sometimes they be running together. They started talking again, and then now they're supposed to be doing the makeup birthday. And according to her, it was supposed to be no more hotel nights. But then, but then they have a Turk's birthday makeup. So he ends up taking her to Turk's. Guess who came? Paul. That hotel night lasted for 24 hours. Diddy asked her if she wanted to see Dunn. She said yes. When they get to Turks, Paul arrives to in Turks. He stayed like next door to in a different building from where they stayed. Hotel night lasts for 24 hours. Diddy said, "Do you have more in you?" She said, "I guess." Called Paul over for another hotel night. Diddy gave her a bracelet. She said, "I was so happy. It meant a lot to me. I was feeling loved by him." Paul was really nice, but I was tired. I couldn't have sex with Paul. I was extremely sore at this point. Diddy was trying to lube it up, get it right with the Astroglide, child. And he said, "You can't take no more dick." She said she took that bracelet off and threw it out the floor, and she walked out. Diddy walked after her, walking around while she was walking around crying, and Diddy was saying, "Are you crazy? How can you make me look like that in front of Paul?" And that night they slept in two different rooms. And Diddy told her to apologize to Paul because she made the scene. So then she texting Paul. Now she pouring her heart out to Paul because ain't nobody, she ain't got nobody to talk to. I guess she tired of writing notes in her phone. So now she just talking to Paul. He be, all up in her, stuff. So she want to talk. Um, so she was just telling Paul, like, oh, we didn't speak for one and a half, like about a month and a half, and I didn't even want to do this. And Paul said, "Oh, okay." Paul been hunching on this girl for years at this point, and he can't even he can't even lend a listening ear. But I guess Paul said he just coming to get paid for services rendered. He ain't trying to be nobody friend. So after after Turks and Caicos, I think they stay there like an additional 2 days after this incident. So at this point, she had a hotel night with Don. She had a hotel night with Paul. And she had another hotel night with Paul. So she had a hotel night in Miami before they left with Don. And then she had two hotel nights with Paul while they were in Turks. Get back to Miami. So now she's trying to make it up to Cabral. Cabral, how do you say this child name? Lord have mercy. This man's name, excuse me. Ends up he's there and she's trying to make it up to Diddy. Now before Paul came to Turk, she was asking Cabral to come, but he couldn't come because he didn't have a what is it? A vaccination card. So then she texts Cabral and says, this is after they in Miami, do they little one two. Tonight was amazing. No, this is how she talks. Tonight was amazing. Tonight was amazing. Thank you for always bringing that good energy. And she said she wanted them to feel good and like human beings. And she said by what she meant by good energy is like, Cabral was the person she said she felt the safest with. And so like when she always sees him, like I guess, he just always make her feel safe. So thank you for bringing that good energy. And this is when he proposed the love contract in March of 2023. We already discussed it. She wanted 15. He said, nah, I'm getting you 10. And she said, I really wanted something big and spacious for my child to enjoy. And so the love contract was supposed to be for 2 years because she wanted it to be for as long as they had been together at the time of the love contract. So they've been together 2 years at this point. So she wanted the love contract to be for 2 years, right? Even though she's no longer staying in that home she was initially in when Diddy started paying her rent, he's still currently paying her rent as he sits in jail. Now, Diddy would eventually give her $15,000 for furniture. But so eventually, oh, Diddy rubbing his temple during this portion. Okay. So eventually, she tells Diddy one day that she promised him an all-star party. She said, I told him I wanted to invite 3 or 4 guys and bring them all in one night. But she said this because she was high and saying what he likes to hear. She was planning to do this at the new home. So now, even in the midst of a hurricane or bad weather, Diddy's still trying to make sure that he get his hotel night. Now, I mean his all-star party. Now, this is 8/18/2023, right? Now, hold on. So now, as she was talking about a and I'm like, ain't no hurricane in LA. I mean, being from the Mississippi Gulf Coast, ain't no hurricane all the way in LA. So I mean, and yeah. So I'm thinking to myself, by this time I no longer live in LA. So I'm thinking to myself, what event happened? Like what event happened that what event, child, what event happened? And so in August 2023, there was a lot of bad weather in LA due to Tropical Storm Hillary. It was initially a Category 1 hurricane. This was a rare event, and it was the first tropical storm to impact Southern California in 84 years. There was heavy rainfall and flooding. The rainfall on August 21st, which is my birthday, broke several long-standing records for the region. Shorter school, canceled flights, evacuation orders in some communities, widespread power outages, gusty winds. Hell, even an earthquake happened. Um, Now, after all this is going on, or as this is preparing to start, this man still want to get his stick wet and look at her while somebody else putting meat in her. He wasn't worried about evacuations. He wasn't worried about none of that. He just wanted his dingaling, and he wanted to look at other dingaling. So she said, "Hey, I know I told you I was gonna do this, but maybe we should take a rain check because of the hurricane that's coming." Then he text this woman and said, "Something wrong with your pussy?" You ain't even suggest a movie night. A movie night is when they just sit back and they just watch porn of themselves or other people. So Diddy was just saying how he felt played. And then she was like, believe it or not, I just got my period. So now she's sending pictures of her tampon and pictures of her tissue to show that I'm starting to bleed, and then now my period on. I'm wearing a tampon. I thought that was interesting because Cassie said she had to do freak off's period on or not, baby. It is what it is. Okay. Did he text her things like he was mad as fuck? Don't stress me about money ever again. Playing with me. Told you a solution. Yo, he said your period always on. And then he was like, fuck you, leave me the fuck alone. He was mad, baby. He was mad. He was mad. So then he turns around. So at this point they ain't talk or whatever. So then he turns around. Then he turns around and texts this girl. So then, child, they not talking or whatever. And he ignored her, I guess, for 3 days, or at least didn't reply. Maybe I don't know. I don't want to his state of mind, but eventually he texts her and says his album is out. No, 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 no. He announced his album was coming because his album didn't come out till September 2023. But in August, he announced his album was coming out. So he said, "Good morning. I announced my album." Then he said, "Let's move on to seeing the light." And somehow or another, I believe I don't know if they got if they had a communication again, and she said he brought up her child's father, which isn't cool. And then he told her, "Why don't you take a fucking Adderall?" I just popped the Adderall. Then he plays her these audio recordings, and it's like, you don't know how to just move on. This is not a no, no, that's a um you don't know how to just move on. And let me play these record. Let me play this recording. So here is the get on your job. I'm on my job, so get on your job recording, and I'm about to disappear on you. Here you go right now. Let me see if I could.
I really don't know what's going on with you, but I just want to just give you a heads up that I'm about to really disappear on you. You feel me? I'm not gonna be playing these games with you at all, at all. So I don't know. You think you silent treating me, and you think I'm gonna be nah. You'll have a rude awakening. You'll just have silence, and ain't nobody threatening you. And I ain't trying to go back and forth with no woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I ain't got no time for no motherfucking games. Where my life is at right now, I don't have no time for no games, baby girl. Me and you could be mad. I could have a spat. We could have whatever. Then after that, you better get on your job. That's really that's all it is. Cause you got me on my job. Nah, it ain't never gonna work like that over here. You know what I'm saying? I was trying not to leave this message, but you have left me no choice. So how do you go in the direction of like moving on and shit like that, or you like just like have me just keep moving Ain't no threat. I'm just being clear. I can't do this shit with you every time you get upset.
Now ain't that something? He calling her saying just to be clear. He said, I'm gonna move on. I'm about to disappear on you. Ain't no silent treating me. Yo, is he for real? And then there were a couple of other messages. Like one of them, he was like, "Oh yeah, happy Sunday, love." But that was the main one. That was the main one. Um, he's also told her, you don't know how to much, you don't know how to just move on. And then she was like, "You threatened me." He was like, "It's not a threat. It's a promise. It's text messages." So then social media, he sent Young Miami a flower arranger. Now, let's be clear, she's never said Young Miami's name, but everybody knows who it is. Because I mean, the time, like, we're not crazy, right? Screenshots of a flower. She sent him a screenshot of a flower arrangement, and she felt jealous because she had a root canal, I believe, and he sent her some flowers, but it was like love, like it was a real simple message. But apparently, whatever he sent Young Miami was more thoughtful. That's how she was testifying. Like it seemed like he put more effort into it. And she said she felt jealous. And then things went back to normal between them. And she said that she was still threatening her rent afterwards. And that is the 2 days of Jane Doe's testimony. And I wanted to highlight her testimony in the video all within itself, because I wanted to take my time with it. I wanted to include like different components because I think that helps paint the picture. And it's not, I didn't think it just helped to give the full background. Thank y'all so much for watching. And Brianna Bungalone, I am going to review her testimony next. I'm just going to touch on the brief moments that are like, aha, 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 because we generally know what happened, but I want to touch on the part that's a little, woo, like Westmoreland really, 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 really did her big one with that one. But anywho, it's your girl Liza Janae. And yes, the lies absolutely necessary. Live from the Diddy Trial in Manhattan, New York. And I will be back. Catch my TikTok and Instagram _ LAJANEE _ for the high level big moments throughout the day, throughout the testimony, throughout the days that testimony is happening. And every Sunday you can catch a review of what, the testimonies in detail and whatnot. So see y'all soon. Holla. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Please subscribe.